Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to this month's episode of Tea Talk with Grace. I keep saying it every single month, but someday I will get a jingle for this little series and it will be a great day. Anyway, if you are new to the channel and you don't know what Tea Talk is, basically we just sit down with our tea. I won't judge though if you don't like tea. If you don't like tea, I'm good if you have coffee or a hot beverage or a beverage of any kind, or if you don't, maybe just eat something. But anyway, we sit down and we have a chit chat. I usually put out a Q&A tab on Insta stories and I ask you guys to ask me questions in the community tab here on YouTube as well. We get to sit down at the start of every month and have a little chit chat, have a little catch up, and it's just fun and cozy. So I asked on Instagram and on YouTube and you guys asked some good questions, so let's get straight into it. Okay, this month I'm going to try my very best to get through as many as I possibly can, so I'm going to try not to ramble and I'll try not to answer anything that's been asked in like some way, shape or form beforehand. So I'll try my best to link all of my previous Q&As and things like that in the description box for you if you want to watch any of those in case you missed anything. So if I didn't answer your question, it may be because I've already answered it. Sally May 1210 says, are you doing YouTube full time now? Do you have any trips planned when the travel ban is lifted? Hi from Orlando. OMG, hello in Orlando. That's so exciting. Am I doing YouTube full time now? I am not doing YouTube full time, but it is a very large chunk of my work. Obviously I can't do makeup at the minute because I'm not allowed to. But I definitely won't be returning full time to doing makeup when things kind of start easing back in. I do some other bits and pieces as well that I don't really ever talk about, never have, but in a nutshell, YouTube is a very big part of my work and I love that. I love that I get to do something that I love. I never ever thought that it would get near to this, but that's super exciting, and yeah, I love what I do. And do I have any trips planned when the travel ban is lifted? No, I have absolutely zero trips planned because I don't know when we're going to be able to travel anytime soon. I don't know when I'm going to feel comfortable traveling anytime soon, if I'm honest as well. My main travel plans thus far are kind of just within Ireland. I have mentioned that beforehand, but I'm good with doing a bit of sightseeing around Ireland for now. I think personally, and I've said this to a couple of people before and they kind of agree, that they feel like Christmas might be the soonest that they might feel comfortable to travel. Obviously it's very dependent on how things go and things develop. Yeah, there's so many places that I would love to go to and I've mentioned them loads of times before, but I haven't got any trips planned as of yet. I would love to know how you guys feel about traveling though. Are you kind of open to traveling to different places? Are you comfortable with traveling to different places? I think it's really dependent on how things develop over the next couple of months for me. Lorena Miller says, what got you so into fashion? I'd say my mum was probably one of the main reasons that I got interested in fashion. My mum actually years and years ago used to own boutiques, like clothing boutiques, first of all kids boutiques, and then she went into like regular people's clothes. Not the kids aren't regular people. Yeah, she's always been really into fashion. Neither of us have similar styles. My mum's style is probably a little bit more quirky than mine is, and it suits her down to the ground. I love the way that my mum dresses. I can remember when I was younger and I used to get into a little bit of a rut with fashion. Like I used to literally just want to dress in tracksuit bottoms and that was it. And I wore, do you know what, I wore a lot of black then as well. I remember loads of people used to say that about me, that I wore a lot of black. Things haven't really changed that much. I'm still very much a neutral gal. My mum always used to encourage me to kind of break out of the box a little bit and wear something different. So yeah, she probably did push me a little bit when it came to fashion, but I know a lot of people also ask me like how I found my style. I don't know. I honestly can't tell you. I don't feel like I ever settled into a kind of a style. I don't think anybody should really have like a certain style and that they don't deviate from, if that makes any sense. But when I was in college, I definitely don't feel like I had a style. I definitely still dressed really heavily based on trend, whereas I feel like maybe around like 24-ish started to just not really care and dress in a way that made me feel really good. I don't know, I feel like that's kind of how my fashion life has evolved. I was always very jealous of people when I was younger that had a very definite voice when it came to their style, but I was just not that person. I didn't discover it until later on in life, I guess. Did you always love tea or did it take some time to get used to the taste? No, I feel like I've always loved tea. I don't know if this is just, I'm assuming this is just an Irish thing. I know I'm probably painting everybody with the same brush here and I shouldn't be, but for the most part I feel like most people in Ireland grew up with somebody getting them to drink tea, and I feel like my nan on my dad's side was the one that got both me and my brother drinking tea. And when I say tea, I mean like black tea. That's like the standard tea over here. It's like if you ask somebody if they want a cup of tea, that's just what you give them. It's not like, do you want a cup of tea, and you give somebody green tea, they would be like, what the hell is this? So usually you just get like a black breakfast tea. My nan always used to put sugar in my tea as well, and that's how me and my brother grew up. It was just drinking tea with milk and sugar. And then as the years went on, my nan passed away years and years ago, we stopped taking sugar in our tea, so both me and my brother don't drink sugar in our tea, or don't take sugar in our tea anymore, but he likes a good cup of tea as much as I do as well. So we're all tea drinkers in my house, apart from my mum. My mum doesn't really drink tea, she'd be more of a green tea person, but myself, my dad and my brother all love our tea. Danica Paul says, what's your best budgeting tips and how do you budget when spending money on clothing? I have kind of answered this question before when it comes to budget, but I'm not the person to be asking about managing your money and budgeting because I do not know everything. I'm definitely still learning, and I think it's all a learning process throughout your life when it comes to budgeting. Nobody does it 110% correctly, and I can't tell you how to spend your money as well. Always have money there to pay your bills, always have money there to pay for things like your groceries and your in cases and stuff like that, and money for savings too. And then after that, that's the surplus money that you have to spend on either clothes or going out for dinner or that kind of a thing. I feel like that's kind of like the best way to do it, is just pay all the things that you should be paying first, and then whatever money that you have left over, you can use that for doing the things that you enjoy. Okay, next question comes from M, very mysterious, and they say, your favorite British/Irish TV and movie recommendations. Would love to know about the wacky traditions, etc. I don't really feel like we have any wacky traditions. But favorite TV and movies when it comes to Ireland and Britain. I don't really watch any Irish TV, if I'm honest. I don't think. There aren't really loads of Irish TV shows per se. There are like a couple of Irish TV stations that do show things, but there's not a whole pile. I would watch a lot more American based sitcoms and different things like that, and movies. When it comes to British ones though, I think my favorite has to be the Great British Bake Off. Absolutely love it. I love Come Dine With Me as well. It's brilliant. I'm not really into like soaps or anything like that. I don't watch like Coronation Street or Hollyoaks or Emmerdale or any of those, but yeah, I think it's like mostly cooking shows. I love Four in a Bed as well, that's fun too. Yeah, I think those kind of shows are like my favorite ones when it comes to like British TV anyway. Next, what do you think of Disney World opening up July 11th? So if you didn't know, over in Orlando the Universal parks have already opened, and a lot of the other kind of like theme parks and parks in general have reopened, but Disney have decided that they're not going to open until July 11th. I think that's a good move because you can kind of see how it plays out in other parks. Disney is a whole other beast because they have so many parks to handle. There's a lot more movement of people, so the bigger the park, I guess, the longer it's going to take to kind of get certain restrictions and measurements into order to help with people's safety, I guess. So they kind of want to see how it goes and pans out for Universal, for example, or how it pans out in Disney in Shanghai now that that's open. So I think it was smart of them to kind of leave it for a little bit and see how things play out. I'm excited for it to open again though, and for any of you guys that are going to get to go, that's super exciting. I hope I'll be able to go someday soon in the future, but I think Paris might be a little bit more realistic for me for the foreseeable. Lorena MV says, would you ever consider getting another puppy? Right now, if you ask me to get another puppy, like right now, no. Pippa is a handful. As much as I love her to bits, she definitely needs all of my attention, and I feel like I definitely couldn't give all of my attention to 2 puppies right now. But maybe in the future. I've kind of said that, well, I actually said as soon as I got her, I was like, I could definitely get another puppy 100%. It took a lot of getting used to, but I absolutely love being a dog mom. It's like one of my favorite things in the whole entire world. I just love her so much. You can't see her, but she's like sitting directly behind my seat, and I can see her in the mirror here. She's playing with her little chicken. Maybe in the future, I think I would like another dog. I'm not gonna say no, I think I would like another dog, but maybe when she's a little bit older. Right now, to have 2 puppies I think might be a little bit too much. M's Love 96 says, how's love life? You're so inspiring, by the way. Girl, I've been in lockdown for 3 months. How do you think my love life's going? Oh, this is a good question because I don't think I've ever answered this. I'm not sure if I've ever been asked it. What did you want to be when you were a kid? So the earliest thing I can remember wanting to be when I was in primary school was an interior designer. Now bear in mind, this was like when I was maybe 9. That's what I wanted to be. So I've never ever wanted to have like a proper like office job or anything. That's never been anything that's really appealed to me. Like as in, I never wanted to be like an accountant, or I never wanted to have like a traditional 9 to 5, and I definitely don't have that now, and I never have had that either. Yeah, I've always wanted to do something really creative, and I think the interior design aspect, hello Pippa, came from my mum. She was always very much into interior design, so I think just watching her as I was growing up really encouraged me on the creative side of things. Really the whole way throughout secondary school I was very much into acting and singing, so I really wanted to act at one stage. Was in a lot of acting schools and things like that, and then singing wise, obviously a lot of you have stumbled across my music channel. That's how I got into YouTube like 10 years ago, and that was by uploading covers to YouTube. I wanted to pursue a career in music, and I did that for a couple of years. Honestly, the career, the business, the music industry just wasn't for me. I don't know whether it was just at the time, maybe it just wasn't the right timing for me, and maybe if I was in a different headspace or if I was a different age, just the things that or the people that I met and the circumstances that I was in at the time, just they weren't right, and the industry just wasn't for me. But yeah, that's what I wanted to do when I was older, when I was a kid, be an interior designer, an actor, or a singer. And as a side note, I always get questions asking would I ever like bring back, like do a cover or something on this channel, and I feel like that would be really random. Also, copyright with royalties and music and stuff does not go down well on YouTube, but maybe you'll just hear me singing some random car songs while I'm driving at some stage. Next question comes from WooT19, and they say best purchase in the last 5 years. Love your channel. Thank you so much. What do you mean best purchase? Do you mean like best fashion purchase, best life purchase? When it comes to best fashion purchase, there's so many like things that I've invested in that I get so much wear out of. My Gucci Soho Disco I think might be one of the best things that I've invested in the last 5 years, and I think that was like 4 or 5 years ago. I use it so much like right up until today, so I could 110% say that that was like one of the best purchases that I made. A couple of my coats as well, they're always really good purchases and really good investments because I get so much wear out of those. Life wise though, I probably have to say my car, and that's obviously one of the more recent purchases. I got that last October. That's kind of like got a little bit of wiggle room with that one. Technically I didn't purchase that because I'm paying like a loan for it, but it was definitely one of the best investments that I made because I love my car. It's a great car and I need it as well, so it's a practical purchase. Zoe says, I'm so excited for your Christmas videos. It might be a little bit early, but Christmas? So this is actually something that I've been doing a little bit of thinking about recently. I've had so many questions in this particular like question tab asking me if I'm gonna do Gracemas / Vlogmas this year. So if you're new to the channel, basically I call my Vlogmas Gracemas because why not insert your name into something else if you can? Last year I didn't do like a full-blown Vlogmas, I just did like very festive videos. The year before that I did like the proper Vlogmas. This year I have been watching a lot of Vlogmas now. Like I've started watching Vlogmas already, and I feel like everybody else has started watching Vlogmas now. So turns out June is the time where everybody starts watching Vlogmas if you're into Christmas, and I am here for it. I am there with you. But I've been watching a lot of Vlogmas recently and it's making me really want to do Vlogmas this year. So let me know down in the comments if you want to see that. I kind of have an idea of how it's just Vlogmas, if you've never done it before, can be is extremely overwhelming. It's a lot of work to like basically film and edit a video every single day for 25 days, especially if like me, you film a lot, because that means you have a lot of time that you have to edit. But I just loved watching back the videos and being able to see what I did at Christmas time. I just think it's so lovely to have those memories. So I kind of came up with something that might work, that means that you guys get loads of videos and I get to vlog and basically do a vlogmas as well. So yeah, let me know if you want to see that this year, because I think we might do vlogmas this year. Just, you know, I have a puppy literally playing with the slipper that's on my foot right now. On that note, Sarah says, how are you finding Pippa's biting to be? My pup is a lab border collie mix. Oh cute. And they're slowly growing out of it, slowly, in loads of O's. Pippa is still biting everything. She is 3 months, March 3rd, so March, April, May. She's about 3.5 months old now, and she loves to chew on things. She's slowly getting out of it. Like, she knows when she's being bold. She's currently chewing on my sock. Pippa, she knows when she's being bold, basically. I've got her lots of teething toys and they really help. So I just find the more things that she has to play with that she knows she's allowed to, the less that she chews on other things. Like, she hasn't destroyed anything like legs of chairs or baskets or skirting boards or anything like that. But I try to keep things out of her reach and just let her play with the things that she knows she's allowed to, and that seems to work for the most part. But she's getting there, she's getting there. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? This is a question that I always find really hard to answer, like where I see myself in 5 years, where I see myself in 10 years, because based on my past, I know how quickly things can change. So I feel like it's really good to plan things that you would like to do, but be really open and flexible to those plans changing as well. Who would have thought that in 2020 we were going to spend 3 months at home and not be able to do anything because of a global health pandemic? Nobody. Never in my wildest dreams would I ever have thought that this would be something that I would ever live through. Like, it's just mind-blowing to even think of it sometimes. Like, there are times when I'm just like, I'm driving in my car, I'm out for a walk, and I'm like, wow, this is really what's happening in the world right now. So it's really hard to kind of like think where I'll be in 5 years. But in the next 5 years, I would like to have another puppy. So I'd like to have a friend or a sister for Pippa. I would like to have traveled a little bit more. I would like to definitely have my YouTube business, I guess. I hate calling it a business because I feel like that's such a, like, it's just so strange. But I would definitely like this all to grow into something much bigger. So to diversify from videos, I still want to be doing videos. I still want to be uploading because this is just something I'm so passionate about and I really love, and I love being able to connect with you guys. But maybe I could do products or have like a hub, like a website where there's like more for you guys to see, or like events or things to go to, or I don't know. I would just love to kind of like diversify and have something else for you guys, basically. So another kind of creative outlet for me as well. So yeah, that's kind of like something that I would really like to do in the next 5 years, and I feel like that's very much a possible thing to do as well. I always feel like if there's something that you want to do, go for it. Don't just sit around talking about it, like make tracks to actually do it. I feel like the last 5 years have been so transformative for me. Like, I am so different from the person that I was 5 years ago that I can't wait to see where I'll be in the next 5 years. Like, in 5 years time, I'm going to be 33. Sometimes I forget what age I am. I'm 28 this year, in case you're wondering. But yeah, I'll be 33 in 5 years time. So that's a whole other time in your life. So it'll be exciting to see where I'll be in 5 years. elich202 says, what's your favorite new recipe that you've made lately? Okay, my favorite that I've made recently is my cauliflower rice truffle risotto. Oh my lord, you guys, it's so good, and it's literally right down to that truffle pesto that I got from Marks and Spencer's. I'll try and link the video where I made it down in the description box, but it's so easy, and it's like healthier as well, so you can eat so much of it. I did it with prawns and mushrooms and truffle pesto and Parmesan cheese, and it was just so delish, and it's something that I've been really enjoying making. I've literally made it 3 times this week already. but it's super yummy, and that's one of my favorite things that I've made recently. Erin Scanlon says, any tips for owning a pet for the first time? Your pup is adorable. I just adopted a rabbit. That's so cute. Good luck with your new rabbit. I have had so many of you ask me about getting puppies after I got Pippa, and the number one thing that I would say to you is make sure that you are ready for it. As much as I love this little munchkin that's at my feet, she is a monkey, you guys, and you always see the fun parts of Pippa, but you never see her being a crazy demon dog sometimes. And it's the same with everybody and their like kids as well. You always see kids being like really cute and sweet, but then it's like having your own is like totally different. So as you can see, she's currently chewing on my finger. She was chewing on my slipper the whole time I've been like talking to you guys so far, although she has got her chicken down beside her, so I've just been telling her not to. Puppies don't sleep through the night. Puppies get up in the middle of the night, they wake you, they cry. You have to figure out how a schedule works for them. The first like 2 weeks that I had her, I was getting up at like 4 o'clock in the morning with her, and that's when I started my day basically. So that was really hard getting into a routine. Now we've found a routine where she doesn't cry at night anymore. She was crying at night before she was going to sleep, and that was really stressful for me and for her. But we figured out how to kind of get away from that, and we have a proper routine in our tracks now. But yeah, there's a lot that you have to figure out with your pup, and I definitely do say you have to be in the right place in life to be able to have one. Like, puppies need attention, puppies need your dedication, they need training, so make sure that you have the time to do that. Don't just get a puppy just because they're cute, because they are definitely cute, but they are hard work, but totally worth it. Ow, Pippa, ow. But totally worth it, because they are just the biggest cuddly bugs ever. Aren't you, monkey? Yes. Stella Teresina possibly says, what was your first job that you had? My first job was working, my first proper job. I did lots of like jobs for my family and stuff like that when I was growing up and in school, but my first proper job was working for a food company, and they did like outdoor catering and catering for like big events and things like that. I really loved it. It was actually really hard work, as in like long tiring hours and like long drives to where I had to be as well, because I worked all over the country, which was really cool. So that's one aspect of the job that I was so appreciative of. I used to work at festivals, for example, like music festivals. There's a festival over here called Electric Picnic. I worked at that. I worked at this thing in Galway that was called the Volvo Ocean Race. That was really cool too. So I got some amazing opportunities out of that job, and I really loved the people that I worked with as well. The guy that owned the company was so lovely, and all of the people that were like on the team were so nice and really fun. And whenever we had to go away for things, we obviously went as a group, so it was really fun to hang out with all of them. But yeah, it was tiring, and it taught you how to work hard for your money and earn it properly. But yeah, that was the first job that I ever had. Kelly Quilliam says, are people wearing masks out and about where you live? Yes. It is advised, oh my shoulder just clicked, that you wear a mask if you're on public transport or in like a shopping centre or in a supermarket where there are like crowds of people. Now, any supermarket there aren't really crowds of people. They're managing it really well where I'm based, because I'm in more like rural Ireland, I guess. But yeah, people are wearing masks to do their shopping. I wear a mask when I'm doing my grocery shopping. Just where like social distancing isn't possible, that's where I think lots of people are wearing their masks now, and people are wearing them just like walking about too. I think it's just got normal to look at this stage. Daphne Dandelion says, what's the biggest lesson that you've learned from lockdown / the pandemic? Love you and Pip. Thank you so much. And that kind of is like another question that a lot of people have been asking. What is the biggest thing that lockdown has taught me about me, or just in general? I think the main thing that lockdown has taught me is that it's just like I appreciate the little things now. Like, the one thing that I missed was not traveling. It wasn't anything like crazy. The one thing that I really missed was getting to meet a friend and go for a cup of tea that I didn't make myself. Like that was it. I was so excited when we had our travel restrictions lifted that we could travel 20 kilometers away from our house, because it meant that I could basically leave my hometown for the first time in like 3 months. So yeah, it's just the small things. And probably about myself, I've learned not to care so much and not to be so hard on myself. I'm definitely a person that overthinks and can just be very critical, like self-critical, especially when it comes to work. Really only in the last 2 weeks I've learned just don't do that. Like, do what makes you happy, do what you enjoy, and try not to care about what people think. I'm always telling people not to care what people think, and I feel like sometimes I care more than I think I do. So I think that that's kind of like just taught me just to live your life for what it's worth, do the things you enjoy and the things that make you happy, and don't look back. I was so close to finishing the video before my battery died. Anyway, I am going to leave it here for today's tea talk, or for this month's tea talk. I hope you enjoyed my ramblings for this month. I always love when you guys ask me like random questions. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed having a little bit of a chit chat and a catch up. If you did, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you want to see some more tea talks. And if you are new to the channel and you haven't subscribed already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. What a good video to come on to for like your first video, or a getting to know me video, because you just got to sit and listen to me ramble for ages. Anyway, I'm gonna go downstairs. I have a big batch of soup on. I'm gonna have some soup for my lunch. I'm gonna play with Pippa, and I will see you all again really soon in my next video. Bye.